Well, not much has changed through the Globex. Globex was quiet. We really didn't do anything. We didn't hit our stop. We didn't hit our target. So our target's still the same, which is what we've been talking about the last couple days. We're not going to be doing any active trading today. We're just going to try to see if we can hit our target. There's some other things we're doing also. So we'll just stand by and see if we can get to that 1310 area. Well, slowly but surely we're grinding down toward the 1310 area. Let's see if we can get an extension during today. In the meantime, we're looking at some really interesting time frames, other time frames, shorter time frames, since this patient trading doesn't seem to suit me very well. Although I am seemingly succeeding in keeping this position far longer than I could have anticipated. In the meantime, while I'm not worrying about the reversal charts or the 5-tick charts, gives us an opportunity to look at some other stuff. So our targets are still down there around the 1310. I think if we get down to 1310, we can even go lower. The value range on I think a 10-day distribution is down in the 1280s, 1290s, I think. So I think we're headed that way. Well, we're in the I period, making new lows in the mid-20s. The mid-20 to 22 area could be support for a little bit. I would expect a counter rally from here for a bit. Hopefully, a counter rally wouldn't, get too much over 1330. But once we break past this 22 level, then 1310 is in the sights. We'll reevaluate when we get down to 1310. If we get down to 1310 today, then the Globex, I would think, would continue selling, and that might be an opportunity to make a few more easy points. And we could turn a pretty good trade, a boring trade, no doubt. It's completely different than what I've done in the last months, but it'd be nice to hit a target. Too bad I wasn't working on patience. Well, it seems that the counter retracement from the initial 22 area only got up to 24 and a half. Well, actually, no, I'm sorry, it got up a little higher than that. It got up to 26. Well, I should say from 23 it went to 26 and change, and now we're back in the 22-23 area. So we're anticipating a further follow through to the downside here. We're in K period. The NYSE tick is building heavy on the downside. All rallies are being sold today. So we're going to just stay with this position. This is going to be exciting because the 10-day distribution, the value, lower end of value is 1300, 1301. But the limit of the distribution, lower limit of the distribution, is all the way down around 1261. And there's a couple volume clusters down there, the 1268s, the 12779s, 1280, 1288. Those are all areas that the market could pause at. But I would expect when it gets down to the lower end of distribution, when it gets down to lower value at 1301, that would be a good place to take some profits and then look for retracements, maybe to test the lows down in the 80s through the 60s, potentially. Every time we make a lower low in the New York stock tick chart, we make a lower in price, and that's good. I believe the financials have been making lower lows all day also with the S&P. The energies and materials are not making lower lows, but they're a smaller percentage of the overall ETFs, make up 500. So we're pretty satisfied. Finally, it feels good to have a little reward from our 40.75 short. We were tested several times up around our stop limit, and almost got hit a couple times. Came within a point, I believe. I don't know what to think about that. Our stops always seem to come within a point. So that's something we might have to work on in the future. But it's going to be exciting to see if we can, get down to our targets. Well, we're having some elongation of the profile today. We touched down as low as 15. Had a little bounce back. We had a significant volume on that test of 15, so I think we're going to have a retracement here a bit. Might have been a little bit of an exhaustion type of volume move. I don't anticipate it's the overall end of the move, but it certainly was a significant push down. Yet on the rebound to the second standard deviation above the mean, the NYSE tick chart couldn't move price much at all. That's right where we are right now, about 18, about 2 or 3 ticks higher. So we're just going to hang on here through the close. I'm not sure what to do about the weekend Globex session. I'm a little bit hesitant to keep the position open through the weekend. Having said that, I feel more comfortable taking a short position over the weekend than I do a long position. If we did take a short position, we'd put our stop probably in the 1330 area. So that's, I think, what we're going to probably do. Well, we have about 10 minutes to the cash close, about 15 minutes to the 25 minutes to the electronic Globex close, and we're breaking down to the 14s here. I thought we were going to have potentially a little bit of a reversal from 15. We'll see if we can continue the momentum here in the M period. We broke underneath the L period low. 10 could certainly, anywhere in here could be a little bit of support. Be interesting to see what happens overnight, or I should say through the weekend. Well, it looks like we're going to close somewhere between the 15 and the 20s somewhere here.
Last week have been unstable this week, and we saw retailers decline on concerns about numbers for the second quarter. Overall, a tough week here, still not that bad. The S&P 500 and the Nat and the Dow were both down, but only about 1%. That's not bad considering the economic news that we have.
10 minutes left or so.
Actually, eked out a small positive gain. Scott, back to you. All right, Bob.
People covering the shorts today, driving in period back up off the lows by about 7 or so points.
Give less generous terms to their pilots. The Wall Street Journal says that while the idea may be unpopular with the pilots, there's nothing to prevent the carriers from taking that course. Shares of both companies higher today. And if you fly Northwest, get ready to pay more. The carrier is now charging $25 to check a second bag. Northwest not the only airline to make such a move. Others have done it as well, recently in an attempt to bolster revenue amid high fuel prices. And those high fuel prices causing demand for jet fuel to shrink for the third straight year. This according to some analysts who say higher costs along with a shaky domestic economy will likely force U.S. airlines to scale back their flights. The rising price of oil, one of the reasons for those high jet fuel costs. But some good news today on that front. Crude was down almost 2%. Mary Thompson has more from the NYMEX.
Well, we settled at 1875. So we settled under value. Today's value settled in the lower quadrant, and we're in the value area from March 20th, and the value area low of March 20th is down at around 1301, 1302. Breaks under there, under that 8-period low at 1296, and we're going to test the low, I believe, at 1250. So it's going to be a challenge now to figure out where to get out. We want to maximize this trade now that we've been in it for a few days. This is a first for me to carry trades through the overnight session through a duration. But I know some people that are successful at doing it, so why not try it? It's all part of the learning curve. And we'll see how we do next week.